160? 160? Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya 25, 160 I believe.
Where we left off?
Yeah. Should I chant? Okay. Okay. All right. Madhya 25, 160. Yeah. Yes. 160. I think that's where ended last time. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jai Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda So Hare Krishna, all the devotees. I was told we are reading from Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, chapter number 25. The residents of Varanasi become Vaishnavas, and text number 160. I'm gonna read from my phone because I forgot my glasses. Okay. So we can't display it on the screen, huh? Okay, all right. So then I'll read it to myself. It's hard to repeat. You have it on the phone? Okay, all right. Madhya Lila, text number 160. Hena kale sei Maharashtriya Brahmana Sabhate kahila sei shloka vivarana. At this time, the Brahmana from the province of Maharashtra mentioned Lord Chaitanya's explanation of the Atma Rama verse. Ye shlokera artha prabhu eka shashti prakara kariya chena yaha shuni loke chamatkara. The Maharashtrian Brahmana stated that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had already explained that verse in 61 ways. Everyone was astonished to hear this. Tabe sabha loka shunite agraha karila ekashashti artha prabhu vivari kahila. When all the people gathered there expressed the desire to hear again the 61 different meanings of the Atma Rama shloka, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again explained them. Shuniya lokera bada chamatkara haila Chaitanya Gosani Shri Krishna Nidharila. When everyone heard Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's explanation of the Atma Rama shloka, everyone was astonished and struck with wonder. They concluded that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was none other than Lord Krishna himself. Let's read one more. Etakahi uthiya chalila gaura hari Namaskara kare loka haridhvani kari. After giving those explanations again, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu arose and took his leave. All the people there offered their obeisances unto him and chanted the Mahamantra. Om ajnanatimirandasya jnananjana shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave namaha Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim Yatkripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramanandamadhavam Shri Krishna Chaitanyamishwaram Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I seek the blessings of all the Vaishnavas present, so I may speak on these verses. We will pause here, read a little bit, and maybe we will again continue reading, depending on how far we will go. So the background of this, what's going on here, is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in Varanasi. He delivered Prakashananda Saraswati. He is a sannyasi in the Shankara Sampradaya, attached to impersonal Brahman, study of Vedanta. So you may already have read and know the history behind this. Is basically, he becomes a devotee, and one of his very chief followers, he glorify Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in front of him. Of course, that pastime already happened where they had discussions and everything. And then he meets Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in one of the temples. There, Prakashananda Saraswati catches hold of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lotus feet. And then they have some more conversation. And then at that time, one of the Maharashtrian Brahman, he mentions that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had previously explained Atma Rama verse in 61 different ways. So this happened for the first time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he meets Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya in Jagannath Puri. They had the conversation, and actually Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya had affection for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Vatsalya. So he wanted to help Chaitanya Mahaprabhu so that he doesn't get attracted to things and fall down, a young sannyasi. So he wanted to teach him detachment so that he can be in Nishtha in his sannyas ashram. So Mahaprabhu accepted that affection, wanted to be taught by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya out of love. So he listens nicely for a long time on the Brahma Sutras and the Vedanta Sutra explanations. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu doesn't ask any questions. Then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya asks, what's the matter? Are you having difficulty in understanding? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, no, actually everything is clear, as bright as the sun. But the interpretations you are giving, that's difficult to understand. But Vedanta Sutra is, I can understand. So then they have discussions, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu establishes the direct meaning of the Vedanta Sutras rather than the obscure indirect meanings. And at that time, this discussion about Atma Rama verse comes. So the point is, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is establishing that the personal realization of the Lord is so great. The Lord himself is so great in his qualities, form, pastimes. He's so powerful that everybody is attracted to him. And at that time he explains this Atma Rama verse, and he explains in 61 different ways, taking each word and giving the dictionary meaning of each word. And then when you combine those words, different kinds of explanations will come. And that was already covered in chapter number 21. Everyone has already read that part. So the essence of that one is basically, no matter whoever it is, Krishna is so attractive that he attracts everybody. And when those were explained, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was very happy. So naturally, when something that powerful happens, the word spreads. So in the conversations between Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this is a very significant part of it. That Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has explained this in such a wonderful way. And the essence of that one is everybody gets attracted to Krishna. So even when we try to spread bhakti, if you see on the back of the Bhagavad Gita, you have all descriptions of different people who are attracted by Bhagavad Gita, right? It could be scientists and philosophers, politicians like Gandhi. So the Atma Rama is saying even the Atma Ramas who are fully content in themselves, and they are also attracted. So that means it's covering everybody. So the word Atma is described in many different ways, as mind, as body, as buddhi, intelligence, and so different meanings he gives, saying those who take pleasure in all these kinds of things, all of them get attracted to Sri Krishna. So we can see in the Bhagavatam, right at the beginning itself, in the first canto, 7th chapter, this discussion is there to give the importance of the personal form of the Lord, show the example of others. Yadyad acharati shreshtas tattadevetarajana, right? Whatever a great man performs, common men follow. So we show the example of such a great person, and then we glorify bhakti, we show to people that everybody is welcome. Even software engineers, doctors, lawyers, businessmen, everybody, politicians. So we give the example of George Harrison. Sometimes we may show the picture yesterday. Drumila Prabhu? Drumala Prabhu. So he was saying he had it's in his thing that he always becomes an instrument to give books to somebody who is very famous. And he take pictures, puts it out there. See, even these people are attracted to Krishna consciousness. Everybody is attracted, right? So this is a way of glorifying Krishna. So that's sort of the essence of Atmarama verse. So then, because this is such a significant thing, later when Sanatana Goswami and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu meet in Varanasi, then Sanatana Goswami asks, I heard that you explained this Atmarama verse in 61 different ways. Can you please explain that to me again? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I don't know, but because of your association, if I, whatever I am inspired to, I'll speak it to you. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again explains Atmarama verse to him. And now this happened in Varanasi, and right now Sanatana Goswami is also there with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then again this Brahmana is saying, oh, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained this 61 times. And then everybody is going, we want to hear. Can you say this again? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained it again. So the mercy of the Lord is so much that He is willing to teach us again and again and again. Like a kind parent teaches the child, right? This is how you brush your teeth. We were speaking to somebody yesterday, a very elderly lady, the neighbor of Uddhav Prabhu. And very first time she was, coming to the Bhakti Vriksha program, and she was telling that her son is 45 years old. He calls her and tells her not to do this. You will get scammed on the phone, and don't get association of people on the internet. Better you go talk to your neighbors and talk to real people. And she said, he tells me, and he's always scared something will happen to him. I tell him, I taught you how to brush your teeth. So the parents, they teach the child. Child may make mistakes many times. Same thing they have to tell again and again. But they don't, they are not irritated to teach again because of that loving affection. And where is that coming from? It's coming from Krishna. We see here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I just told Sanatana Goswami this few days ago, then again I have to tell? No problem. Or he could have said, go ask Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya to Sanatana Goswami. But he explained. And this is a great teacher, teaches nicely and repeats certain themes again and again so that we get it. So in the Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita in the 2nd chapter. It's done. Right? What is the title? Contents of the Gita summarized. Over. But in the 3rd chapter, Arjuna is confused. Jayasi chet karmanaste mata buddhir janardana tatkim karmani ghore mam niyojayasi keshava. If you think this intelligence is greater than karma, why are you engaging me in this ghastly warfare? And Krishna says, Lokesmin dvivida neshta pura prokta mayanaga. I already told you that there are 2 kinds. The nishta is of 2 kinds. There's devotional service. Prabhupada translates karma yoga as devotional service. And then there is jnana sankhya. I already told you these 2 things. But Krishna lovingly again explains these things in the 3rd chapter. And then again, beginning of the 5th chapter, again, Sannyasam karmanam Krishna, punaryogam cha shamsasi, yachreya etayorekam. Just tell me one thing. You said karma, sannyasa is greater. Then again you say yoga is greater. Yachreya etayorekam. Bruhi me sunishchitam. Tell me for sure. Tanme bruhi sunishchitam. Which one is this? And Krishna again tells it. 2nd chapter, 3rd chapter, 5th chapter. And then he continues. And again in the 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is asking Arjuna, verse number 72, after Sarva Dharman Parityaja, everything after everything is done. Hey Arjuna, Kachidetam Shritam Partha, Tvayakagrena che ekagrena chetasa. Arjuna, have you heard all of this with attention? Attentive mind, have you heard all of this? Is your confusion gone? Why is the Lord asking this? And if Arjuna said no, he was willing to speak the entire 18 chapters again. So this is the mercy of the Lord. He is always ready to give us mercy. His instructions are always there. Srila Prabhupada says, how do we understand Krishna? He says, through the mercy of the devotees, the Guru. And he also says, through Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, and the uncommon activities of the Lord, they all give us faith. So we can hear Bhagavad Gita, we can hear Srimad Bhagavatam again and again and know Him. So if the Lord is willing to teach us so many times, in the material world, you have to pay, you miss the classes, and so much difficulty. But Krishna is always willing. And He's coming, Sambhavami yuge yuge, dharma samsthapanartaya. Again and again and again He's coming, He's sending His beloved children, servants, His sons, to reclaim the conditioned souls. And He's coming behind us and super soul in our heart, a Chaitya Guru, reminding us again and again and again, telling us, look at me, I'm here with you. So this affection of the Lord has for His parts and parcels, the living entities, His children, is so deep and great that He is willing to repeat again and again and teach us. So now when it comes to the devotees as well, they are always blissful to hear again and again, whatever scriptures. Sometimes we see in the beginning, I have this experience when I go to India, sometimes I take my friends, relatives to see places. So they say, oh, last time I went to Mayapur, I already saw that. Let me go somewhere else now. So they think this is like a sightseeing. But then we get shocked to hear this kind of statement, right? Already seen Vrindavan, already seen Mayapur. But for devotees, what is this? Already seeing. That's not what it is. And it's ever fresh. Holy Dham, saintly persons, scriptures, holy name, this is all ever fresh. Krishna is ever fresh. Advaitam achyutam anadim anantarupam adyam purana purusham navayavvanam cha. He is navayavvanam, he is fresh youth. It's not that he became 16 just today. Every day is like that. So the word nava, we have new Goloka. It doesn't mean it's just something new. It's fresh all the time. It's Krishna consciousness is like that. So therefore, it's the glories of the Lord, anything about the Lord, it never gets hackneyed. It's not becomes old and stale. It's ever fresh. Right in the beginning of Bhagavatam hasn't even started yet. The sages are asking the questions in the first canto, first chapter. But then they say, Vayam na vitrupyama uttama shlokama vikrame. Shinvatanam rasajnanam swadu pade pade. We never get satiated by hearing the glories of the Lord. They are giving assurance to Suta Goswami that we are here to listen. You go on speaking. We will never get tired. Because the Uttama Shloka's glories, the glories of the Lord, are so nectarian, so powerful. Rasajnanam, but may not be for everybody. Those who know the mellows of devotional service, those who can take the rasa. In the beginning of the Bhagavatam, muhraho rasika bhuvibhavukaha. You drink, pibata Bhagavatam. It's inviting everybody, all the rasikas, to be able to relish. And then Shaunaka Rishi, Shaunakadi Rishi, they are giving assurance. We are ready. And we'll never get tired. Now we see this theme in the Bhagavad Gita also. Arjuna, in the 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, from 7th chapter onwards, you hear the opulences of the Lord in various different ways. Bhumirapo Analovayu, he starts there and explaining how the Lord is present in this material world. Because in the 6th chapter, it says we have to meditate on the Lord. But being in this material world, how do we meditate? Because everything we see is around us is matter. So Krishna kindly gives this process of meditation, that we see presence of Krishna in this material thing. Whereas a materialist sees this material world itself, or you could say a neophyte, or Prabhupada sometimes say common man. For that person, this huge Virata conception itself is God. This material world itself is God, right? This big gigantic creation itself is God. But for the devotees, we see who is behind it. We see this as Krishna's energy. Hare Krishna, Purva Prabhu Ki Jai. So, therefore Arjuna is saying, he's asking Krishna in the 10th chapter, Vistarena Atmana Yogam, Vibhutim Cha Janardana. Bhujak Katayaha, Shunvato Nasti Me Amrutam, Truptirihi Nasti Me Amrutam. He's saying, Vistarena Atmano Yogam. You please tell me in detail about your vibhustis, your opulences, and yoga. The meaning of yoga in the 10th chapter, the meaning of yoga, as we know, is to connect with the Lord, or bhakti. Often it's translated by Prabhupada as devotional service. In this case, yoga is the mystic presence of the Lord in everything. He's the mysticism of the Lord. And his great opulences. How is he present in everything? How is that, we are surviving just by breathing something? And when there's COVID, oxygen is so expensive. But we get it for free now. But as devotees, we can see that how the Lord has made this creation. And Arjuna is saying, Shunvato me amritam. For Arjuna, this is nectar. We may see, 10th chapter, just opulences of the absolute. But how is Arjuna seeing it? He's seeing it in a different way. He's not getting tired. And it's interesting, and out of all the places in Bhagavad Gita, that's where he's saying amritam, nectar. That means as much as the glories of the Lord is there, as a listener also, it's our responsibility to try to see the essence of what's being said. Now, a question may arise, should I be very intellectual to be able to understand this? Different meanings of Sanskrit words, Atmarama words, this is, No, that's not the point. The point is we grasp the essence of what's happening. One time Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in Sri Rangam. There was a Brahmana. And he was also studying Bhagavad Gita. And his memorization of shlokas, he may not pass Bhakti Shastri in shlokas. Shloka memorization. Sometimes elderly devotees, excellent devotees, like, Prabhu, I can't memorize this stuff. So this Brahmana, he's not a big Sanskrit scholar, but his guru told him, you read Bhagavad Gita every day? So he's trying to read Bhagavad Gita every day. And people would make fun of him. What can you read? You cannot even recite one shloka properly. Even by looking, you are not able to read properly. But just by that activity of his sincerity to the message of the Lord from within himself gave him so much bhava that he advanced a lot. And whenever he would just open the book, tears would come from his eyes. Sometimes, the holy name is the same for everybody. But for some people, they choke up chanting, taking Krishna's name. But for others, it's like mechanical, Hare Krishna, 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 right? One time I heard from His Holiness Anmat Preshak Swami that one person, he chanted his whole life and then he was hoping that I'll be back to Godhead. So then he was in some place and there was one person sitting there and disfigured. And this man said, I should have been in the spiritual world. Where am I? Who are you? He asked that person. And that person looked at him and said, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Krishna. This is what I was. You have been calling me all your life. So the mood in which we approach the Lord, there's a difference. So this Brahmana, he was so grateful. In the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita, when Ratam Stapaya Mechyuta, Arjuna instructs Krishna, because Krishna is a chariot driver. Hey Achyuta, put my chariot in between the two armies. Senayor ubhayor madhye ratam stapaya mechyuta. And Srila Prabhupada explains this word Achyuta means the Lord is infallible. He never fails in protecting his devotees. And here he is with Arjuna. And he's going to protect Arjuna. He's going to help Arjuna to win this battle. He's going to instruct Arjuna to destroy his ignorance. And he's willing to become a servant of his devotee. So this Brahmana is crying and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu goes, Brahmana, why are you crying? And we may think, because people are making fun of him, maybe that's why he's crying. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Brahmana explains, my Lord, whenever I open the Bhagavad Gita, only one thing comes in my mind. How great the Lord is. He is the Supreme Lord, and still he is acting as chariot driver for Arjuna. Just by thinking of my Lord, how much he loves his devotees, that he becomes a servant of his devotees. And this thing, makes me cry. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraces him. You understood the essence of the Bhagavad Gita. So it's not necessarily always we are looking at grammatical formation of the words and all these things. The point Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying through this Atma Rama verse is we need to penetrate beyond what glitters. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was attached to Brahma Jyoti, this effulgence light. And we are also sometimes attracted to the external things of the bhakti process. We need to go deep. Hiranmayena patrena satyasyapi hitam mukam tattvam pushanna pavrana satya dharmaya drishtaye. Ishopanishad sage is praying. Actually, that's Swayambhuva Manu. Oh my Lord, remove this curtain that's covering your face and show yourself to me. Show your face. Mukham. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling Sarvabhauma, you have to go beyond this impersonal stuff. And the Lord is so glorious, his pastimes are so glorious, his guna, ittam bhuta guno harihi. And everybody is attracted to him. So this is the mood, we should see what is the essence of it, not necessarily the externals of it. What is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu trying to convey from this is that we should all be attracted to the glories of the Lord, hear them again and again. So this is the reason why the devotees always are hearing. And when you hear again and again, we get more and more realizations. Even the same Bhagavad Gita, when we study again and again, it's so fresh. So fresh. And therefore, anything actually in life, learning, particularly the scriptures and process of devotional service, is like a spiral. We go in a spiral. In our life, we may be in the same exact situation. Same type of thing happened to me, same problem, either I'm sick or I have a conflict or I'm losing taste or whatever it is. We are at a point, I had this last year, but this time because it's a spiral, I'm a little bit higher and higher. So when we also listen to this, study the Shastra, hear the lectures, our realizations are going, more and more and more and more. Same thing we are hearing. But adding our experience of practicing it, the different situations we go through in our life, when we apply the challenges we face, and now we are hearing again, I missed that point. I was doing it like this, I missed that point. Let me focus more, pray for more strength and proper understanding. So in this way, we grow in bhakti. So the idea of hearing again actually is meant to teach us the significance of it, and also to help us, see deeper and deeper meanings. And it's interesting, he explained this verse 3 times. And it is said, whenever something is said 3 times, that's very, very important. Harer nama, maiva kevalam, kalau nasteva, gatiranyata. So the significance of the holy name also mentioned 3 times. And Atmarama verse is also 3 times in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. And we can see Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is also, he's very old by this time. He actually thought he would leave his body. Therefore, in the beginning of Madhya Leela, he just gives everything. He explains everything. In the first 2 chapters, he totally gives what's going to happen. He says, I don't know if I'm going to live. Therefore, I'm explaining. And Srila Prabhupada did the same thing, Krishna book. He gave the 10th canto first. He wrote the Krishna book, even before he translated all the cantos. And we can see, but then again he came back, and Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami explaining, and sometimes he says, I don't want to make this book too big, therefore I'm not repeating. He also expresses gratitude to Vrindavan Das Thakur. The mood in which the acharyas are presenting the material, mood in which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching, the mood in which the devotees are receiving. So these are various elements we can learn from these pastimes, not necessarily just, the technical aspects of it, but the deeper realizations and all those things. So I will pause here. We can have some reflections. Anyone would like to share your realizations or have any comments, questions? If there's nothing, I can read few more verses, but if you want to share something. You may have already read the Atmarama verse. Any of you who are reading, you have any reflections on the Atmarama verse who have been reading every week? No? If not, okay. Let's read a few more verses then. This is verse number 165. Sabha Kashi Vasi Kare Nama Sankirtana Preme Hase Kande Gaya Karaye Nartana. All the inhabitants of Kashi, Varanasi, began chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra in ecstatic love. Sometimes they laughed, sometimes they cried, sometimes they chanted, and sometimes they danced. Sannyasi pandita kare bhagavata vichara. Varanasi pura prabhu karila nistara. After this, all the Mayavadi sannyasis and learned scholars at Varanasi began discussing Srimad Bhagavatam. In this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu delivered them. So here, the idea of Bhagavatam came because when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had discussion with Prakashananda Saraswati, he established Srimad Bhagavatam as the natural commentary for Vedanta Sutra. So therefore, he instructed them that they should be reading Srimad Bhagavatam in the association of devotees. This is the beauty, is when we are in the association of devotees, the subject matter becomes more relishable. So one is, when there's very exalted person, then we get it properly. But also, like this, sincere souls, we come together and just read and discuss. His Holiness Bir Krishna Maharaj was saying the other day, he's quoting the verse from 3rd canto. Satam prasangan mama virya samvido bhavanti hritkarna rasayana katha. So in the association of devotees, the katha, the glorification of the Lord, the discussions, the topics of the Lord, they become very relishable for ear and the heart. And then after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's association with them, even the Mayavadis started reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Prabhupada in one place said Shankaracharya didn't touch Bhagavatam because it's so pure that it's hard to construe some impersonal meanings out of it. So therefore, after being transformed, they were so attracted to Srimad Bhagavatam. And they started reading Srimad Bhagavatam every day like that. Nija lokalana prabhu aila vasa ghara. Varanasi haila dvitiya nadiya nagara. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then returned to his residence with his personal associates. Thus he turned the whole city of Varanasi into another Navadvipa. Both Navadvipa and Varanasi were celebrated for their highly educational activities. At the present time, these cities are still inhabited by great learned scholars, but Varanasi is especially a center for Mayavadi sannyasis who are learned scholars. However, unlike Navadvipa, there are hardly any devotees in Varanasi. Consequently, a discussion of Srimad Bhagavatam was very rare in Varanasi. Jai Shri Shri Radha Golokananda ki Jai. Jai Chaitanya Charitamrita ki Jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai.
Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Kandar Ago Vitamaniya Vishesha Shobha Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam pritimanti pasyanti panti kayanti chiram naganti ananda chinmaya sadhu jala vigrahasya govindam adipurusham amaham bhajami 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 govindam.
Page 22. Hari Hari bolite nayane bavenir. Hari Hari bolite nayane bavenir. Arakabe nitai janer karuna hoibe arakabe nitai janer karuna hoibe samsara basana mora kabe tucha hoibe samsara basana mora kabe tucha hoibe vishaya jariya kabe shuddha habe man vishaya jariya kabe shuddha habe man kabe hama herabo Sri Vrindavana herabo Sri Vrindavana Rupa Raghunatha Pade hoibe akuti Rupa Raghunatha hoibe akuti kabe hama bujabo se yugala purity kabe hama bujabo se yugala purity Rupa Raghunatha Pare Brahumbarasha Rupa Raghunatha Pare Brahumbarasha Prarthana koro ye sada Narotamadas Prarthana koro ye sada Narotamadas Gora Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Golokananda, Radha Golokananda, Shri Radhe. Radha Golokananda, Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Golokananda, Radha Golokananda, Shri Radhe. Radha Golokananda, Radha Golokananda, Shri Radhe. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Shri Vrindavan Dham, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Shri Vrindavan. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai, Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhu, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. When will that opportune moment come to me when I shiver upon chanting the name of Lord Gauranga? When will I cry while chanting Hare Krishna? When will I receive the causeless mercy of Lord Nityananda so that my desires for material enjoyment become insignificant? When will my mind be purified of material anxieties and desires so that I can understand Vrindavan? When shall I be very eager to study the books left by the 6 Goswamis so that I can understand the conjugal love of Radha and Krishna? When my only shelter, in constant separation from them, I remain Narottama Das. Narottama Das Thakur ki jai. Cheto darpana marjanam bhavamahadavagni nirvapanam Sreya kairavya chandrika vitarinam vidyavadu jivanam Anandam buddhi vadanam pratipadam purnam niswadanam Sarvatma snapanam badam vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatra nitami amita smarane nakala. Deta drisi tava kripa bhagavan mamapi. Durdaiva midrishani janina nuraga. Trinadapi sunichena tarorapi shahishnuna. Amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. Nadanam najanam nasundarim kavitam vajagadishakamaye. Mama janmani janmanishvare bhavatad bhaktir ahaituki tvai. Ainanda tanuja kinkaram patitamam vishame bhavam buddho. Kripaya tava pada pankaja stita dhuli sadrishtam vinchintaya. Nayanam galara shrudaraya vadanam gadgara rudargira. Pulakarnichitam vabukara tava namagrahana vishyati. Yuga yitam nimeshena chakshusha pravishayitam. Sunyayitam jagat sarvam govinda virahename. Ashli shava pararatam ramasumam adarshamar margararutova. Yata tatava vidadantalampato mat pranastastu saeva napara. Victory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years, and it extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. O my Lord, congregational chanting of your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. O son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up? And when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name? O Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering it to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly by his embrace or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord. unconditionally. Shri Shikshastika ki jai, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Thank you, Mother Gopi, for addressing the deities today. So sweet. And for all of the wonderful team, the cooks downstairs. I saw Janavi Jivana, I saw Deepshika, I saw Radhika, and I saw all of their spouses, and they were all helping. So very nice breakfast crew today. Thank you. And welcome back to Jadharani and Omkar. Haribol. And a fond farewell to Maharaj, who left at 6:30 for his tour of the Southeast. He's going through Florida, Georgia, and Charlotte. So he'll be touring until next Saturday. So farewell to Maharaj. Hare Krishna. Thank you for Srinivasacharya. Yeah, that was a very wonderful class, really absorbed in Chaitanya Leela, actually. Yeah.